Hello and welcome to the latest part of Let's Play FireRed. In the last episode, we took on Viridian Forest, and in this part, we are going to take on the first gym, which is, of course, Brock. As you can see here, I've leveled up Iggy to now match the level of Apocalypse, so he now knows the moves Thunder Wave, and I think Tail Whip, which is such a useful move. Not really. That didn't really take as long as I thought it was going to take in terms of leveling him up, which I'm glad, because otherwise it would have been very boring for you to watch and me to do, so I thought it would have been easier just to show you a sped up version of that. But here we go, we're going to take on the first gym, Brock, the rock-hard rock-type trainer. And of course, we're going to talk to the gym, I guess, advisor here, I would call him. And he will often give you advice on what you should use against the gym, and, you know, just the type effectiveness. So if you're ever unsure, talk to that guy and he'll give you somewhat useful advice. Although not so much in this gym, because he just essentially tells you, hey, did you know that the first Pokemon in your party is going to be the first one that you send out? Which is fairly self-evident, I would have thought. But there you go. So my strategy for this gym is essentially just to use Apocalypse, with the exception of the Sandshrew that's going to come after this Geodude. The reason being is because obviously fighting is super effective against rock, and I wanted to take on these rock type Pokemon, which are in general heavier than Apocalypse is. Unfortunately, Pokemon like Sandshrew are very, very bulky. Like Sandshrew is surprisingly defensive for this part of the game. And it's really quite interesting to sort of just think about how Sandshrew is one of those ground-type Pokemon that you sort of compare to Marowak, you sort of compare to Diglett and Dugtrio. So Sandshrew is one of those Pokemon that you compare to Diglett and Dugtrio. And you think to yourself, why would I use this? Why would I use this in comparison to Marowak that gets an attack boost on top of its Bone Club, I think it's called, or the Huge Bone, the item that gives it extra attack power, and Dugtrio has extra speed, so you're either trading extra speed for attack power or more defense. So I can't really recommend using Sandshrew on your team, and we'll get to Geodude later on. Of course, this camper told us that light years measure distance, not time, which is, of course, very, very factual from him. So we're just going to go ahead and heal, and I'll meet you back at Brock. Okay, here we go. We're now going to face the first gym leader in Pewter City, Brock, the Rock-type trainer. For the first ever gym battle in the series, I think Brock is one of those that you never really. It's again one of those that I would classify as one that I don't remember, but is fun to fight against nonetheless. He uses a level 12 Geodude with the moves Tackle, Defense, Curl, and Rock Throw. You really don't have too many problems with this Geodude, because he'll mostly just stick to Defense, Curl, and Tackle. I think Brock does use a potion, though, so watch out for that. His Geodude isn't really the main problem. Just keep attacking him with something that's super effective. You want to use Fighting, Steel, Water, or Grass to gain an advantage in this gym. And you have access to all of those depending on what combination of Pokemon you decided to choose. His next Pokemon is level 14 Onix with the moves Tackle, Rock Throw, and I think Defense Curl again, or Bind, it used to have in the original games. Onix is not a problem for me because, again, Low Kick will do extra damage because it's much heavier than Mankey is, and so we're going to gain a massive 324 experience points. We're going to learn a Karate Chop, which I would have grinded and waited until then to take him on, but I thought that we would have been fine just using a Low Kick, and we were. There was really no problem against Brock. And we get the badge here, which will allow us to use the move Flash, but we're not going to get Flash for quite a bit until the game. And here we're going to get a TM, and TMs can only be used once in this generation. They can be used multiple times in later games. And so Rock Tomb is a 50 base power rock type attack that lowers speed. I personally like Rock Tomb as a move. If it wasn't 80 accuracy, it would be much better. I'm gonna apologize for the random edits that you hear in the commentary. I'm a little bit croaky when I do this episode. Rock Tomb is a very good move to have on a Mankey because it really does give it that extra coverage against the flying type and bug type Pokemon, many of which we're going to come up against in this upcoming route that we will tackle in the next episode. I generally want to keep the gyms to one episode each, just to make it easier for me to go back and edit them. So if it seems like I'm making a really short episode for no reason, don't worry, it's just that the first couple of gyms are very, very short. They do get longer as they go along though. So we're going to heal our Pokemon and say goodbye to Jigglypuff in the corner, and we're going to head off to the next route on the right of Pewter City. And I'm going to switch Iggy to the front for reasons you'll see in the next episode. So just going back into the Pokemon Center here. Originally I was considering using Spearow on my team. However, I decided that I didn't want to follow through on that. The main reason is because I couldn't really think of a way to make him unique to my team build, because really the only coverage that Spearow would have is hitting the fighting types and bug types, but we're already sort of hitting the bug types already, and we're not going to run into too many fighting types at this point of the game. Here we're going to get the running shoes, and thank God, because that means that I don't have to walk slowly everywhere. So we say goodbye to Professor Aid, and it turns out that these shoes come from our mum. Oh, thanks mum. So on that heartwarming note, let us end off this episode here, and I'll see you guys next time.